Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to BWTM Sports. Um, uh, First of all, I want to say thank you to all the supporters out there. 2 million views has been hit today. It's a great Friday, not just a good Friday. It's a great Friday. 2 million views. And we want to thank you, the supporters, those people who have been out there. You know, while you talk, we do the work. So thank you so much for your support. And we look to hit 3 million views much faster than we hit 2 million views. So let's put that out of the way, and thank you very much. And of course, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button. Okay. Next thing is I want to clarify some comments, and I want to make some things clear. This is not a troll channel. The reason why I'm doing this video because my face can be seen. Unfortunately, recently, and I say unfortunately recently, I was asked to do a video on Caleb Truax versus James Degale, the rematch. And I had to give my honest opinion. And my honest opinion in the first fight was that I believed that Caleb Truax, if there was any time to get James Degale, now was the time to get him. Now, you're probably asking why I'm doing this video. It's because I just recently saw a video on another YouTube platform, and it's by mistake. I saw it because I just saw a video of James Degale pop up while I was uploading the video, and I thought, oh, James Degale, and he's not in the UK. Okay, let me check this out. So I said, that's good. He's in America. That's good to see. And then I was listening to the interview I was doing, and then the things that came out his mouth were word for word the statements that I made recently about him. And two of the statements I said, I think the first statement was, I said I was hesitant to say he was shot. And the second thing I said was Badu Jack took his soul. And James Degale seems to have taken offense to it. Now, I understand the pain that he must be going through to have not only lost his title, but to have lost his title on home turf in front of those fans trying to, you know, relaunch his career in the UK. When I say relaunch, I mean, you know, obviously reintroduce himself to the UK fans because all his fights have been abroad. And then the result that happened in a fight that I felt Caleb Truax won fair and square. And from round one, if James Degale wants to take the time to go back and listen to the commentary, he wasn't the fighter that I recognized. He was stuck in the court for most of the time, and Caleb Truax was unloading on him. So there was obviously something wrong there, because that wasn't the Degale that had fought in previous fights. The Badu Jack fight, I said Badu Jack took his soul. For me, Badu Jack landed a lot of punishing blows to body and head to James Degale and dropped him in the last round. Nobody else has done that like that to James Degale and knocked his front teeth out. And before the Badu Jack one, during the Badu Jack fight or after the Badu Jack fight, I said he needs to work on his defense. Before the Badu Jack fight, I've been talking about Degale using his defense. Listen, James Degale, I've rated as the #1 super middleweight in the world. When nobody else wanted to listen, I said Degale is the #1 super middleweight in the world. And I also said he was one of my favorite fighters. But the things, even if he's one of my favorite fighters, there are things that I don't like. I don't want to see any fighter taking unnecessary punishment. And the guy as highly skilled as James Degale should be taking punishment the way he is. I'm not saying you shouldn't get hit. But what I'm saying is, you know, your defensive responsibilities go out the window. And because you've got a good chin and you can soak up some punishment, that's all well and good. Use your chin when you have to. But as you know, James, yourself, the best chin is a chin that don't get hit. But I can't sit down and make up stories and say things that are not true. Yes, you have been sitting on the ropes, taking punches you shouldn't be taking. Yes, you had great performance, and I've sung your praises about the Darrell fight, the fight against, you know, Brandon Gonzalez, the fight against Badu Jack. Yes, those are the things that I say that made I believe that you were super middleweight, best super middleweight in the world. The fact that I said I thought you beat George Groves. A lot of people debate that. I still think you beat George Groves. I thought you were hard done by because you spoke out and said some things to sell the fight against George Groves. Yes, there was neither between the two of you. You sold the fight because if it wasn't for you, it was you who sold the fight. But the backlash from the British public didn't turn in your favor and went towards George. So, you know, but the statements I made, you came back from injury. You came back from the injury too soon. Okay. So now you're going straight back into a fight against Caleb Truax. In the fight, you took a lot of punishment in the Caleb Truax fight. You took a lot of punishment in the Badou Jack fight. You took a lot of punishment in the Porky fight, Medina fight. You took a lot of punishment in Butte fight simply because you're standing and trading. Well, you can stand and trade and then move out of the way, but you're not doing that. You will stand and trade and have fights with guys when you can make it easy because you have superior boxing skill. So you've come back injured, or so you say. You said you could have won the fight against Badou Jack. You fought Badou Jack with one shoulder, one arm, but that was your choice. I don't know the ins and outs about it, and one day, hopefully, you will get an interview. I can sit and talk to you about those things. And it's a mark of and a credit to you as a fighter to be able to fight at the elite level with one arm. But you can't keep getting away with that. So, you know, and I still have concerns now. You're fighting Truax in a rematch, and I hear you saying, well, you know, if you can't be beating Truax, then, you know, where are you going to go in your career? That's a very, for me, that's a very dangerous thing to be saying in boxing in terms of rematches. It's not like, you know, Truax caught you with a shot, one shot, and knocked you out. No, this was 12 rounds. We stayed with you. 12 rounds, we took your best shots, kept coming forward, and hurt you. I mean, was it the third or the fifth round? I can't remember. Well, he hurt you. Looked like he almost had you out on your feet. But again, testament to you being a champion, you're able to come back in the fight. I hope that you are fully fit when you come into this rematch. I hope you haven't rushed it in the rematch, because if you were to lose in a rematch to Caleb Truax, where would you go with your career? I mean, not me. I don't. Not my business what you do with your career, but it would be sad to see you get beaten in a rematch because of injury. You got a tough fight ahead of you against Caleb Truax, and whereas you may say, okay, well, Caleb Truax ain't as skilled as me, true, but all the fights you've had, from the Badou Jack fight to the Porky Medina fight to the Butte fight, all the fights you've had, most of them at top level, is if you've carried injury or you've sat on the ropes for too long or you've taken too many punches. Yes, you may have won those fights, but it's a punishment you take fight after fight after fight. It builds up. It builds up. You can't keep getting your chin and taking them shots over and over again. Can't keep doing it. And then injury after injury after injury. Of course, your body's going to keep breaking down on you. And it's not like James Degale, well, if you can be better than you've been in your career so far, then fine. But, you know, I think you're on the other side of your career, to be honest. And that's just being honest. That's not being nasty or malicious or digging. Or I'm just being honest. There's an honest point of view. So I wish you all the very best. Very, very best. I mean, I realize how hard fighters train, and the sort of nonsense and sort of comments that social media allows idiots to come out and say really stupid things. People have never boxed before. People have never taken a punch in anger. People who really don't care. And when you lose a fight, they just turn and move to the next guy. So I wish you all the very best in your rematch against Caleb Truax. But now he's champion. He'll be training even harder. So now you have to beat the guy that you meet the first time round. You got to beat him and then some. And for me, again, or if I can't be beating Caleb Truax, puts you in a situation, a very dangerous situation mentally. We need to be hungry and say to yourself, you know what? That guy beat me. He's better than I thought he was. Saying he's a gatekeeper and he beat you, that's not really great going into a rematch, because mentally, you may think all I have to do is show up, get in shape, show up, and I'll go and do the same things again, which means you won't correct anything. And if you don't correct anything, then you're going to meet a guy that knows how to beat you and better, and then some. Rematches, unless there is been a significant change in your technique and your mentality and your approach and your game plan, usually rematches end up going the same way again. Have you fully recovered from the injury? Well, I don't know. Only those closest to you know that. Do you think you can win the fight with one arm? Good luck to you with that. But you've seen rushing back from injury to fight Caleb Truax in a defense, which I said at the time, Truax stood a good chance of winning, and he ends up winning. Give the man his credit, give the man his props. So my message to you is, you know, don't prove me wrong. You should go prove it to the world and prove it to yourself that, you know, don't get mad. And I don't want my comments to be in your mind thinking, oh, you know, he took my soul. Oh, Badou Jack took my soul. You know, had Badou Jack not knocked you down in that 12th round, you would have won the fight. I think. And I think a lot of people understand that. And I rate Badou Jack very highly. I think he is a legitimate elite fighter. You know, so I just let you know, James, that this is not a personal vendetta against you or hate or abuse. I love you, man, as a brother, and I love you as a fighter, but there's shortcomings, and it's so often you go and look in the history of rematches, James. You're gonna have to do something different, and the time between the last fight and this fight, how much have you made the adjustments? Can you adjust your style? Can you box any differently to what you've boxed in your career so far? Are you going to stay off the ropes? Can you take the center of the ring? Can you dictate the fight for 12 rounds without tiring, you know, after 6 rounds and struggling after the second half of the fight? All these questions that, you know, you're going to have to answer. And you're away from home in America. You do that and you beat KO Tricks away from home. What a result. So I know you talked about 4 months of being in having a dark cloud over your head. Well, all you've known is being a champion, whether it be British, Commonwealth, European, Olympic champion. You've been a champ. So that must be really difficult for you. And I can only sympathize and hope that you've had good friends and good family around you supporting you. Boxing is a lonely business. It's a lonely business. So I'm just saying, James, I know you might be upset with me or upset with some of the comments you may have read, but I've made these comments. You can see my face, and I'm saying to you, brother, I wish you all the best in your rematch against Caleb Truax. None of the comments that I make over YouTube are to insult or to upset or to rile or to disrespect a fighter. No. Fighters put so much on the line and then some. You know, away from weeks from their family, their friends, their loved ones. They put their life on the line. They don't know whether they're going to come back out of that ring alive or not, or be able to maintain a healthy lifestyle after boxing or after a fight. We've seen so many tragedies in the sport of boxing. So I applaud you, James, for what you do as a fighter. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is, James. Those are the thoughts that somebody else, my opinion. And I have to be honest, and I'm just being honest. It's not malicious, brother. Not for me anyway. If it was from our channel you saw that video, then yeah, I take responsibility for what I said. But I'm not backtracking what I said. I'm not suddenly going to turn around and say, yeah, James Degale, great fighter. He's got nothing wrong with him. You know, KO Truax is a crap fighter. I'm not going to say that. And deep down, you know, Caleb Truax is a good fighter. And now you have to come in injury-free. And even you injury-free, I've got a tough fight because now you got to have to beat a champion. So just like, you know, the hare and the tortoise, you might be more talented than him, James, but you're overlooking and, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's wrong for me to say you're overlooking, but I'm concerned. And I'm tipping Truax in the rematch. This isn't about patriotism here. This is just, you know, the signs of a rematch, history. Do you know what I mean? Lennox Lewis, when he beat Hasim Rahman in rematch, Hasim Rahman, you know, when you look at Lennox Lewis, technically a better fighter than Hasim Rahman. Lennox didn't prepare for the fight properly, and he got knocked out by Hasim Rahman. He turned around in a rematch and he destroyed Hasim Rahman. But this was a fight with you and Truax. It went 12 rounds. And it will be interesting to see whether you can make the adjustments against a guy who's going to be putting pressure on you from round 1 to round 12. Got to hold the center of the ring. You know what you got to do, champ. So, yeah, much love to you, James. And I hope training goes well. I don't take anything I've said to you to heart. Just hope it motivates you to do the best that you can and to come on with the IBF belt. All the best, champ.